everybody. This is Jayne Ketchum, and I have a guest with me today that I just cannot wait to talk to her, and want all of you to know what she's doing, and it's very exciting for women and women our age, our followers. So her name is Jayne Ellegard, and she has a company called Elegant Wealth. So Jayne, how are you?
I'm great, Jayne. How are you today?
Good. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what the purpose and maybe how you got into this.
Absolutely. So I am the founder and coach of Elegant Wealth, and my mission is to empower women to show up and own their financial journey with courage, confidence, and wisdom. And I spent
Sounds like our motto.
It is. Yes, we match up very well.
Yes, we do.
So yes, I spent 34 years in the corporate world, in wealth management and investments, advising clients on their personal wealth. And Jayne, I saw over and over again where so oftentimes women either weren't engaged in having the conversation around their financial situation. They found it maybe frustrating, intimidating, boring. And I wanted to change that. I wanted women to really engage in around their financial situation, because guess what? 8 out of 10 women will end up on this journey alone. And so at some point, they will need to step up and take responsibility for their financial situation.
So what are you talking about? You're talking about knowing what, being involved, like say you're married, you need to be involved in all the financial stuff that's going on in your marriage or because you don't really connect people up to invest, do you? You're not an investment
No, I'm no
company.
longer doing advising, so that's absolutely correct, Jayne. Yeah, so I'm not.
So give us an example of.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me tell you this story. This is one of my favorite stories of one of the women who went through one of my group coaching sessions. I call them cohorts. So she went through the cohort, and she told me up front. She's very creative. She said, "I hate math." And she said, "I'm one of those women who my husband drags me to the meetings with the financial advisor, and I glaze over, and I'm thinking about all the other projects I would rather be working on." And she went through the group, and what we do is we choose a date 3 to 6 months out where we come back together to have a reunion so that the women can share what happened, how they've been utilizing this newfound skill and knowledge. And we came back together, and she said, "My husband and I had a meeting with our financial advisor." And she said, I sat up straight and I asked questions with confidence. And she said, when he said something I didn't understand, I asked him to explain. And she said it was the best meeting we've ever had with our advisor. And
Wow.
then, I know, I thought that was fantastic. But she went on to say, and then we got home, and she said, my husband turned to me and said, "I finally feel like we're financial partners."
Wow, that's pretty dynamic.
I know. So that's what I'm talking about. It's getting
Right.
engaged.
Wow. I know. I think, I knew a woman had a friend once that got divorced, and she had no idea how much money her husband was making. And they said, "Well, didn't you sign the tax forms?" And she said, "Yeah, but I didn't pay attention." And it was just mind-boggling to me. Not that I know everything that's going on, but I do, I certainly am involved with it. He's kind of the head one that does it because he's got an accounting background, but still, I was just blown away. And of course, then she got really caught in a lot of stuff that he had hidden and stuff she didn't know aware of, and this happened years ago that I knew about, and so it really kind of made a dent in my thinking. But Wow, that's amazing. So how do you offer this course? It's on your website, right?
It is on my website, yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, so women can sign up. It's not, it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's not just an hour or two. It takes a little bit more time than that to learn, what we haven't been taught, right? I mean, I just think so often women haven't been taught these basic fundamentals, the concepts.
Like,
And
explain that. Explain that. What do you mean, the
absolutely.
basic concepts?
Well, even, a lot of women don't understand what a net worth statement means.
Mm.
And really, you need to have that awareness around, what are your assets? What do you own? And what do you owe other people? Because if you really want to achieve something with your wealth, you need to understand those numbers. And I just think we haven't been taught. And like stocks and bonds, a lot of women unfortunately don't understand the difference between a stock and a bond. And so I've created a lot of really fun analogies that help women connect those dots when they're meeting with the advisor, so that they're understanding, like the woman in the story that I shared, she was understanding finally what he was saying and what he was talking about. And then you tend to be more engaged and more interested.
Mm-hmm. And then do you have financial advisors that you recommend then, or does it just stop with you?
I certainly can recommend financial advisors. A lot of the women already have financial advisors. And again, I'm not competing with the financial advisor, because that's not the part of it that I do anymore. So I'm really complimentary to what an advisor is offering. And so if they don't have an advisor, I can certainly give them names of advisors that I think would be a good fit. And so I also will help them understand how they should interview financial advisors. I'll give them at least 3 names and give them some questions and things that they should be asking, so that they make sure that they find a really good fit for themselves.
And now, I mean, Jayne, it's just so important now, isn't it? Because of this whole economic situation we're in. Things are kind of tough right now, and I think all of us really need to know what we're doing. My husband and I are going over all of our financial things, just because we do need to know where we are at. And I think, and as we're all kind of locked down or locked in, especially here in Minnesota, this is a good time to do it. But then your classes, are you doing these now online? Of course, I would think, or have you put a hold on it, or are you still doing them and going to put them online?
Yeah, I'd really love to do a virtual cohort. I haven't yet, Jayne. I think people needed a little bit of time to kind of get comfortable with their new situations, and clean the closets and the drawers, and I
Right.
think now people are starting to go, okay, I probably really need to settle in and maybe spend this time learning more and understanding my financial situation better. So now I would really love to offer up a virtual cohort that, women can be anywhere then. They don't necessarily just have to be in Minnesota. So that would be really
Mm-hmm.
a fun, exciting change for me to make with the cohorts.
And wouldn't it be great? I mean, I would think that would make women feel so good to know what's going on and where they are, and if something happens to their husband. Like you said, most women, what was that percentage?
8 out of 10 women end up alone.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
scary.
I know.
So yeah, I mean, that's, to know what all that means. Gosh, I'm gonna have to tell my daughter about this too. Except she does a lot of finances in their marriage, but I still need her to know about this. I mean, this is pretty exciting, Jayne.
Thank
I
you.
knew what you were doing. I love the name Elegant Wealth, by the way. I think that fits all of us women, no matter who we are.
Absolutely.
And I knew what you're doing, but I needed you to explain it, more in detail, which you have. So we will have your website up. And what is your website?
www.elegantwealth.com, and elegant has 2 L's to go along with my name.
Oh, great.
And if I could just share one more story with you, Jayne.
Sure, I'd love it.
So I did have another woman who went through one of the cohorts, and she shared with us when she came back for the reunion, she said, by learning more and understanding my financial situation so much better, my financial stress has been dramatically reduced.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you would, I mean, if you don't know what's going on, you could just worry so much.
Exactly.
And, oh, that's a perfect story.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on with us. And you're, you're part of ABD. You're one of our members and followers, and we're just really excited. I'm so happy that we got to meet you. I know you spoke at one of our chapter meetings, and I was there, and I just loved every bit of it. And then you're just such a great woman to become friends with. You're like really a fun, wonderful, one of our wonderful women. So anyway, Jayne, thanks for doing this for us.
Well, thank you, Jayne. I'm delighted to be part of Aging But Dangerous, and look forward to continuing to have conversations, and I just absolutely adore everything that you're doing.
Okay, good. Thank you, Jayne.